Recording in progress.
Awesome. Thank you all for being here at the Millinocket Events Committee meeting. I just want to start off with giving everyone a moment. Does anyone have any exciting news or events coming up they want to share from our other organizations? No? Okay, then we'll jump right into it. First is the bike rodeo. However, Tom is not on today, so we are just going to skip over that one. Does anyone have any thoughts on the bike rodeo? I know you weren't here, Melissa. Do you have any questions?
No, we were looking at it age wise. Yep, I don't think that was mentioned last time. What's the age range?
That's a good question. Tom did not specify, so that's a really good question. We should follow up when we have him here. I'll put it on the next agenda as well.
Because I know, just like somebody else had said last time, I remember taking my kids down and getting their helmets sized
Yeah,
for them. But yeah, it was what age range
I'm
would this
thinking
be?
it's elementary,
for?
you know, like kindergarten, made up.
Yeah, but we've
Yeah.
even seen at the Gear Library, there's some in middle school that don't know how to ride a bike or anything like that too, that we're just learning it as well, so.
yeah, that's a
that
really
might
good
be
point.
Different
Open it up to that, too.
sections or something.
Yeah, I like that. So I'll put that on the next agenda so we can talk about that when Tom's present. Yeah.
I didn't know if cost wise if it would help, I know you guys will, but, having a, like, local businesses sponsor maybe a bike and helmet, you know,
Oh, I love that.
and so that way kind of gets everybody involved.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Any other thoughts or ideas on the bike rodeo? Okay, moving on to summer events. So everyone had some homework to think about movies
Yeah.
that they thought could be coming up. I also, side note, for movies, we can also start planning a couple for March, April, May, the teen movie night, since we already have that. We can talk more about that in the February 27th meeting. But let's come up with 2 for March, April, and May as well. Does anyone have any thoughts and ideas on the summer concert series as well?
How about it with the mic?
Open mic?
We have a lot of kids that play instruments that most people don't know about, or they have something like that.
Yeah. I like
Mine
that.
plays like
Yes.
three instruments, if not more.
I like
I
that.
have a lot of talent over at the high school.
Yeah,
Yeah, so how about outside of performing arts, letting that be seen if they want to.
yeah, like a showcase.
Mm-hmm,
I love that. A music showcase for the youth.
mm-hmm.
I'm into that. Definitely, trying to get some local people, I think would be important.
And I think talking with Matt Wade and Zach might help too, because they might know some that are just, they're not gonna be interested because they're either too shy, or they may know certain students to go to.
Do you want to take the
Okay.
lead on getting the ball rolling for this?
I know you're gonna do that. I
You guess so? I can support you in anything or any capacity that you
knew
need.
you were gonna do that.
If you don't want to, you can tell me now.
No, I'll get to my kid and go tell me.
Go team. Does anyone have any thoughts on anyone local that they'd love to see play? My first thoughts is Wally. Love seeing Wally play.
Jeff Ham does too.
Jeff Ham,
Yep, he does too.
Mark Miller.
Yep.
Mark Miller,
There's another woman,
Trish King,
yes.
Yes.
and I always like Dennis, the one-man band McGuire.
Yep.
What was Mark's last name?
Miller.
Miller, thank you. What about Pete? Pete Solo, the Brad Hutchinson project,
Yeah.
PHP.
Yeah, get them all back together, yep.
That's a really good list. I can start looking into those
Mhm.
and come up with by the next meeting, like what a schedule could look like.
What's the location for that?
The bandstand. Does anyone have any other thoughts on summer events, movies, on the summer concert series? Anything else we should keep on the radar that could be fun? Okay, we can move on. Then we have the 4th of July celebration. Just keeping that in the forefront of our minds. I know Tom does a lot with the parade, reaching out. Oh, 2 people have entered the room. Hey, chief, sorry, I didn't know you were waiting. Hold on, I gotta turn you up.
Nope, hang on a minute, Tom.
Try now.
Might have to change your speaker.
Yeah, I have to grab the mouse and bring it back over here. This thing is so silly. That's up all the way. Let's try it. Tom, we're having a hard time hearing you.
You go.
Cause I'm not talking.
There we go. We got you now.
What do you want me to say?
Now we can hear you. Okay, sorry, I didn't see you in there. I apologize. We are on number 3 right now, but we will loop back to the bike rodeo since you are here, chief. Do you have any thoughts or updates on the 4th of July celebration parade?
No. Has anybody reached out to do we have anybody lined up for the 4th of July parade?
No.
Okay.
Do you want to start reaching out to people, you and I?
We ought to, if we want the Shriners or anybody, we better get on it because I don't know if we can get them, what their schedule is.
Can you contact them, please?
Yeah, I'll try and make a couple
Okay.
contacts tomorrow. See what's available.
Thank you.
What about Studio One? I remember years ago, they used to dance during the parade.
I love that. Do you want to reach out?
I can't remember how many years ago, but I remember them doing that.
Do you mind reaching out to her and seeing if that's something they'd be interested in?
Especially like the seniors, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, what other things could be incorporated into the parade?
Do we have scouts anymore?
Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts, I think.
Do we still have cubs? I don't think we have cubs anymore.
That's not what, Nick does.
He hasn't done it in a while. No. I do know that there's Girl Scouts, though. Last time I knew there was Girl Scouts, so maybe. And Rayanne Martin was the last troop leader for Girl Scouts, I think. That I know of, so. If she doesn't do it, maybe she can point us in the right direction. Maybe the Girl Scouts can just walk her or whatever.
Okay. Are you comfortable taking on those two, Studio One and Girl Scouts?
Mhm.
Awesome.
This is a question I don't know if it's possible. Does Stearns have a marching band? Like, can they do? No.
Not a marching band, they have a pep band.
I know they have the pet
But
band.
I
I
don't
didn't know if
think
they
they have
have.
a, I don't think they have a marching band. That would be a question for Zach. Zach is the new,
I can talk to Zach about that.
yeah,
Having the band in the parade.
Case they might be able to go on a boat on it.
mhm,
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great idea.
And then along the same lines, the Studio One and Stearns, the cheerleader.
yeah, yep. And they just had a big competition, I think, too.
Local EMS,
Mhm.
obviously. I can invite, the trucking companies. The local trucking companies. I will make sure, Tom, to let them know no throwing candy.
Right, no throwing candy.
Yes, they can have people passing it out, for those of you that don't know. They can pass it out and hand it off, but they can't throw it out of the truck.
So they can have someone like walking.
Yes,
outside. Okay.
yeah,
That might be a good thing for some of the high schoolers who need community service too. To be like candy walkers or whatever.
How'd you guys feel about like the motorcycles that were in it last year?
that's cool. I think the
Yeah.
more the merrier. I like that. Do you mind reaching
Yeah.
out on that, Jesse?
I know a couple clubs. I know one guy did a kind of a semi burnout down here a little bit, kind of show for the crowd, but I don't know. Well, Tom, is there any legal standpoint that somebody would give them flack for doing like a little burnout that they did last year, a couple times? I know it's fun. People like to watch it.
The only thing would be if anybody ever got hurt, the town would be liable.
Yeah. Well, if a trailer came off a hitch too, then I mean. it's
Yep.
kind of a-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind reaching out to them, Jesse?
No, I can reach out to them.
Awesome. I put that on the list.
Mhm.
So that gives us a really good start.
What about veterans organizations like the
Yeah.
American Legion?
Legion.
Love that.
Yep. Now,
Who wants to reach out to them?
I'm part of them, so I guess I can
Thank you,
reach
Jesse.
out to them.
what about the
Thank
next
you for
one?
joining us, Rebecca. I'm not sure if you can hear us. I still see you're trying to connect. We've missed you. What, go ahead, Melissa, I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna say, years ago, didn't we have a float for the nursing home or Stearns Assisted Living? Was there a float for them years ago, Jesse?
There you go.
They might have, and that's not a bad idea.
Especially those residents who can get out,
Yeah.
so. Cause I know they get out and watch it. As it goes, as the
Yeah,
parade
they
goes down
do,
Central,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
but, I thought I remembered them. A few of the residents being on a float and participating in the parade. So, I don't know,
Okay, that's something we can look into for sure.
I think
Would-
maybe that would be a Jen question,
Jen,
Jen Brown. She's the administrator there.
yeah, I can give her a call.
If you contact Kathy Willett, she's the activities director at the nursing home.
Kathy Willett,
Yeah.
okay,
She'll help you with that.
Okay, yeah.
okay. Would the library be interested in maybe potentially doing a float? Could you see now?
There's not very many of us.
Or just being, like having a presence?
Yeah, but
I
that
could
could be
see,
a thing
yeah.
for our team volunteers. And having the team do it.
Oh, I know that other libraries have done where they like roll book carts.
Yeah, but we get a lot of team volunteers.
yeah, I
So,
can-
yeah, that may be a good thing for them. You know, you can count mine in that one.
Maybe you could get the chamber to reach out to, the credit union used to do it, Brookfield Power did it, there were quite a few through the chamber that if the chamber reached out to them, they might, respond.
Do you mind doing that, Katie? Awesome, thank you.
Tom, do we have, sorry for speaking out of order. Do we have? Like an antique car, antique, whatever organization around here that normally is a club that they get together?
We can.
I'll
talk
get
to
hold of
Jeff.
a couple, Adam might be interested, Antiques Autos of Maine, and, also there's a club out of Brownville. I'll reach out to them too. See if there's anybody, and I'll talk to Jeff Campbell, because he might be able to get some local ones too.
Wow, guys, this is a really awesome list.
Do we have
I'm trying to-
anybody locally that would be willing to like do drone footage of it?
We can talk to Michaela Quayle and ask her. her own footage.
Yes, well, that's someone who did the drone footage at the beginning of the marathon.
I'll talk to Design Lab about that. And Michaela and see if that's something they're interested in doing. I like that. I like that a lot.
Maybe that'd be their way of donating their service or whatever.
Well, and I think some of it would be part of our contract.
What about Baxter? Park. Have a float or something like that. I know they usually do something down in the park, like, with
For
the animal
Trails
printer
End.
and stuff like that for Trails End, or what about like for 4th of July or something too?
If you want, I can reach out since I work for them in summertime. but-
Okay, that would be
Wondering
awesome.
if, yeah,
If they want to do a float, that would be really cool. I like that.
for the hiking and fishing, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe as far as, maybe as far as like the library, I mean, you have the gear library, maybe they could do
Oh, yeah.
something to the
Yes.
effect of bikes and canoes and
Mhm.
have a couple people in the canoes or in the kayaks on a float or whatever, acting like they're doing whatever.
Mhm.
yeah.
I'll see the canoes thing, I'm
And
not
there,
sure.
there you go, you can get teenagers to volunteer, help
Yes.
volunteer for that as well, so
And
you.
we're hopeful that we're gonna get some more interns this. So
Um,
what day exactly you're gonna have the parade on?
Tom,
Yes,
What day?
the parade,
Yeah.
Tuesday.
that's the 4th,
Okay.
yes.
What's lineup time, Tom, and what is start time?
Lineup time always was 10:30 with the parade at 11, but they moved it back a couple years ago and they started doing the lineups at 10 and the parade at 10:30.
mhm.
Is that how you want to do
How do
it?
you prefer it?
I like the 11 o'clock better, but
So line up at 10:30, parade at 11.
yes,
Starting
I know
at the old IGA parking lot?
Yeah.
correct. Yep.
Everyone on the committee, good
I
with that
agree.
time.
I liked that time better when I walked in the parade, because it just gave me more time to get everybody up there and, yeah.
I'm good with it. Jesse,
Up there in the morning.
cool?
We may want to reach out to the snowmobile club with the new groomer that the town helped them get. Maybe they'd put that in the parade. Be a way to show people show it off.
I know the fire trucks and police have a presence, do you think Jeff could run that big machine again? That was in a parade already, right?
Yes, and I'm sure would love to run that again. The snow blower.
Yep.
or the snow plow. Cool. Do we have any other thoughts on the 4th of July parade? No. What do we think about downtown events? What is everyone's vision for the 4th?
What do we usually have? Music? And the tables,
Vendors.
yep, the vendors.
What's the matter with him?
So for vendors. Does anyone want to take the lead on reaching out to different vendors to come join us? Are we talking food vendors? Are we talking artisans?
I don't know, it's been a couple of years since I've been.
I remember
It
the
used to
food
be-
vendors being lined up and the
Yeah.
whole street was like,
And then there was also
Food
people
vendor.
that was selling their crafts or
mhm.
products or whatever.
The food vendors were always here on on the sidewalks and stuff, and then the artisans and everybody were down at the park. I remember that. I have to say, I miss the sausage.
From Tommy. He did it last year before. Oh. So artisans, do we want to charge a rate for people to sell crafts?
Don't we usually? Or is
This
that
is
for
my
the
first
trail
year on the
then? Is
committee.
that for the
Trails,
trail?
then we do, yes. We charge a rate.
Yeah.
Most fairs, they charge a rate.
Yeah.
for-
Right?
Yeah,
For trails, then we charge for the whole weekend, $75. To have your place for the whole weekend.
How does that normally work out?
Well, this year we're raising the price because they'll have all 3 days at one location. Last year, Tom, we charged what, 50? And I mean, no one complained, and I've had people say that's actually quite low. For one day, I mean, even 20, 25. Tom's pretty good at this. What would you say, Tom? Is a fair rate to charge? You're muted.
you muted, Tom.
Muted.
Chief. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I would say like. $25 for regular vendors, crafters. And then a food vendor, I'd get. Oh, between 100 or 150. Because you gotta realize, they're gonna make big money, food vendors are.
Do you have to get a vendor's license if you're here only for that short amount of time or?
They do have to get one, not the,
Not the crowd.
like the artisans, the
Mhm.
crafts, but food vendors do have to obtain a,
Town
food,
license?
yes, a license from the town.
Would that
How
go
much
back
is that?
into your guys' events committee budget? too?
Yes, these costs would go back into the events committee budget.
How much is the food vendor license?
I don't know that off the top of my head, but I can have that for the next meeting.
So they have to pay the peddler's fee as well as.
Yes,
Is there a way, would it be better if we combined the two?
you can,
No,
no, because they're separate.
But maybe take it into consideration,
yeah,
where like it's $100, but they kind of like. So it's not, they're not paying like 150 or 100, you know.
yeah, if we
40.
charge them $100 and it's like $25 or whatever for the license, something like that.
It's minimal, it's like 15, 20.
Yeah,
It's like 15, 20 bucks for like a 90-day period,
okay, okay.
so.
I remember a few years ago, didn't we have like a pie auction or something?
That's at Trails End.
Is it?
Mhm.
Okay.
We did have them before it.
At the Fourth of
Oh,
July,
okay.
yeah,
But it's been a while.
and it was a chili cook-off is at Trail,
Yes,
but I thought like the pie, yeah, I thought the pie auction was at Fourth of July.
yeah. I mean, when
Until
like,
it got
that was
like-
more like 15 years ago. It's
Yeah.
been a while.
I have a question, Amber.
Yeah.
How is that enforceable where they're already paying? There's like 3 locations that they're paying for when they get their permit to peddle
Mhm.
in the town of Illinois. So how do you guys enforce that? Because I mean, if they wanted to say, we already paid for that season, so why can't we just set up?
If they already have their license for the 90 days, they just need to show proof of that.
No,
There was,
no,
Like the location,
no, no. When they get a peddler's license, they are getting, they are getting a peddler's license for Peddler's Hill. That's the only place that's good for.
I thought there were 3 locations, Tom, that they could do that.
No, we
That's-
didn't do that because if we did, it would mess up Trails End and everybody else. That's why we didn't go that way.
Right, thank you.
But it is a food vendor's license that covers them for 90 days, doesn't it, Tom? Or is it just
No,
one day?
the food vendor's license, when they. Food vendor's license is completely separate. That's for,
Right, but what permit
that's
do
not-
they get in town?
right. But you can only set up where they have events going on. Like if you were gonna be a food vendor for the Trails End, you would put that down on your application
Oh, okay,
when you applied.
so then you can only use it for children.
Okay, so it's just for the one event.
I mean, you guys are also selling a spot, like Main Street's gonna be closed, you're selling a spot.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we're selling is the location, the guarantee that you'll have a place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does anyone have any other questions about downtown events in the parade?
It would just, like I said, just the, like the car auction stuff, the music, all that stuff. Cause I think that might go higher cake, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, at Trails End, we do very, very
Yeah.
well with the pie and cake auction. That's one
Mhm.
of our bigger events.
So your chili cook-off that you did on Trails and
Mhm.
how profitable was that for you guys?
It's pretty profitable for us, yeah.
So, do you think that we ought to look at doing another type of cook-off that would offset?
We could do a barbecue.
I was thinking more like a cake walk or something like that, which is kind of similar to an auction. But I wasn't thinking about the other, another bake off.
Well, he was thinking of the chili cook-off
Yeah.
and doing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's like a chowder or whether it's like, something like a barbecue cook-off?
Yeah, that's what I think, like, pull,
Yeah.
because it's the summer, like, pull
Yeah, Fourth
pork.
of July.
Yeah.
barbecue.
So what would everybody do? Like bring down their own grill, set it up and then,
But you could do
that,
like,
that's kind of cool.
And I'm something to think about that we can,
Chili cook-off.
well, the chili cook-off, we have everyone bring their chili to us and we have sternos and pans.
Mhm.
And then you dump your chili in and we're good to go.
Okay,
And we need 2 gallons of your chili. And then we sell the tasting, like it's $5 per whatever, you can have unlimited amount, and we get all that profit, other than $100 cash prize.
I think for a barbecue, you probably want a
Higher rate.
higher rate and a higher price. just
Yeah.
'cause meat's expensive.
Yeah.
yeah. I like the idea of the grill cook-off or whatever, yeah.
Jesse, do you want to take the lead on that and like ponder some ideas for a barbecue cook-off?
It can, but yeah, that does raise a concern because when you're doing barbecue, other than simple like hamburgers and hot dogs, which are already expensive enough. Like I know, like when I make a chili, it's you're talking probably close to $80 to $100
Mhm.
for a chili. Like you said, like a 2-gallon. I can only imagine what unless you're independently wealthy and don't care. But
I mean, you guys could do like potato salad or pasta salad, like side dishes or something like that, you know? like that. I don't know,
Yeah, baked beans.
yeah.
Maybe whole beans.
There you go.
yeah, I don't mind thinking of something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thinking of something like a
If
creative,
it doesn't
coffee
end
to
up
do?
being a barbecue, then I'll come up with something more affordable.
cool, I love that.
Yeah,
If you do go with barbecue, you can have it be like a lesser amount needs to be brought. Though that kind of stymies like everyone getting a taste of it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Because that's how we get the money in
Yeah.
and raise the funds, is selling the portions.
Cause I can only imagine going up and getting a couple $100 worth of meat and barbecue sauce, whatever you do, whether you do dry rubs or however you do it. And then,
You could just make the prize money maybe a little bit more. I mean, even, you know, if somebody wins, they get a little bit more than maybe.
cause really the goal was always if you win, just to win your money back.
Right,
Because I mean, it's, you don't do it to
course.
try to make,
Bragging rights, I mean, you could do something where it's like the best barbecue in, you know, the best barbecuer in the Katahdin region. And I could see people wanting that even more than the money.
yeah,
you'd have to up the fee. You'd have
Yeah.
to up the fee. I mean, it is doable, but. Yeah, I mean, I could think about it.
cool.
I don't know if you guys do like kids activities, like free kid activities or things like that.
I
Bounce
was
house.
thinking of something for the kids, maybe have the kids do.
A bounce house at Stearns costs about $100 for the day, so that's doable.
And then don't we sell the duckies at that time too for Trails End?
We haven't decided as the board, we haven't decided yet if we're gonna be that trip at the fort with the ducks.
But I was thinking about getting the kids involved, and what about? Like we could do like the pie cake thingy that I was talking about, but something for the kids.
Do you wanna think about it and come up with some ideas for the next meeting?
Well, I'm thinking back to when I was in the Scouts, and that blue and gold cake auction was out of this, it was once a year, and every one of the boys made a cake and we auctioned it off, and that was like a massive fundraiser of the year.
So maybe that's what the pie and cake auction looks like, is for like the kids
Mhm,
to bake a cake.
yeah. Yeah, something, what do you think, Jesse?
Stuff on the barbecue.
He's thinking about it, let him ponder.
I think I'm almost there.
Cool.
Yeah, cause I remember we did 3 or 4 cakes.
What do you
That
think
year
of
could be.
sponsoring? Just going with the hamburgers, hot dogs thing, and I kind of really liked your idea. What if the contest is a best salad?
Mhm.
Best potato salad, best macaroni salad,
Beans. Yeah, side of that with a side.
yeah,
Mhm.
and that could be the entry.
It's not really
Still
barbecue
keep it
without
at $5,
butter.
True,
It's really,
yeah.
and then
a good
the events
coleslaw.
committee would be sponsoring, and hopefully we could get some business donation of hamburgers, hot dogs.
Mhm.
My only concern with that, because we've heard about it at Trails End as well. It takes away from the food vendors' profit, and they really don't like that.
Makes sense.
If we start selling food as well, or offering like hamburgers and hot dogs, we'll step on their toes a little bit.
I can see that, like free food, it would be
Yeah.
like, oh, well, why would we go buy?
When I can, yeah.
Sides are one thing, or like a chili is one thing, but a full meal, it does upset them.
Just,
No,
I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
And I hear you, and it does make sense. But you're gonna have dozens of kids, dozens of families that cannot go to those vendors. That are watching everybody else eat and have fun and whatever.
I have to say, I've been in that position.
And you've
before.
got some mom over there that can't. Because of whatever reason,
Mhm.
that's just where my brain goes with it a little bit,
I've been
So
in that position where I just couldn't.
maybe we hold it, maybe we could hold it at like. A non. Lunchtime, non-supper time, kind of in that middle,
Like a 2:30.
like a 2:30-ish, where they're gonna be kind of slow anyway. I don't know,
How long does the parade usually take?
Designated time, I guess, like 2:30 to 3:30.
I still think people. use it. There's the
Yeah.
people that want the Chinese food or the hot sausage or the onion.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not doing like an onion, we're not doing the sausage, it would literally be,
I feel like the setting like a designated time, so that way it's kind of like, that way everybody kind of knows, like, you know.
Might actually draw more people in for a time that doesn't have a lot.
It might help the vendors too.
and they
To be
charge so
able
much
to-
for sodas and stuff anyway, and those things that
Yeah.
we do not provide.
yeah,
I mean, it's. However you
I
want.
remember somebody had best whoopie pie.
Yeah, we haven't done this.
Best
in a
whoopie pie,
while.
You know what I mean?
That might be a really good thing. Means no one can be listening. What if-
But like in Dover,
What are
somebody. they
your
have like a
thoughts,
whoopie
Amber?
pie
Kind
festival.
of takes for kids, will be best for the adults.
Yeah,
well, I love all these ideas, we just have to keep in mind, we need someone to head each of these
Mhm.
events. So we will have to start picking and choosing as well.
Yeah.
We can focus on that in the next meeting, let me write that down.
Because I think with the barbecue thing, either way, whether we do that as a lead event by itself, or we provide that and go with the side route. You're gonna come up against the same, what food is being provided,
Yeah,
regardless if it's us providing it or we're charging a fee for it. Oh,
it's just some food for thought. We can all ponder it. It gives us 2 weeks to think about all of these things. I mean, I don't. If the committee's happy, I'm happy. It's just an issue that I know we've run into in the past.
or maybe do, I know this isn't huge, or maybe to alleviate that, we give them the food vendors free entry. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the right answer for it. so
Yeah, no, it's something
I'm not gonna,
I don't think we need to make a decision on it today. Cause I love the side, and I think that's a fun idea.
and I don't think anybody in the whole region, I've never heard of a barbecue.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
really, it's a really cool idea.
So either way, however we go with it, it's,
Tom, any thoughts?
I just. Just the point that you brought up, if you plan on having food vendors there, you don't want to try to do anything else. The chamber, when we used to run the 4th of July, we tried to set up a booth to sell hot dogs and hamburgers. For people that couldn't afford to go to the food trucks, and we took a lot of flack over it because we were having vendors come in and then we were selling as well, so just keep that in mind.
So we'll all ponder that and have final discussion and hammer that out at the next meeting. Is everyone good with that?
I think it would depend on how many food vendors we could actually get as well. What do you think,
well, that's
Jesse?
the thing, I mean. The past 2 or 3 events I've seen down there, it's not been food vendor heavy, it's been
Yeah.
like 2.
Yeah,
And so, I mean, it's. If we were talking about 4, 5, or 6, then I would say it's a huge deal, but. It's tough to cut yourself short. We could say, okay, we're not gonna do it, and then 2 people show up,
Yeah.
2 vendors show up, and then it's like, we could have done this.
Right,
And then if we go ahead and do it, and you get 6 show up, then it's like,
I
Well-
think maybe we need an estimate on how many food vendors. Before we can.
would
What do
it
you
matter
think?
the location, like? What if we did it down here at the little park down here,
Yeah,
or at the greenery space down there and kind of split up the.
next to the Boreal.
I think
Theater.
that would help.
Yeah.
I think that would help a
I
lot.
like the time slot where if you guys did it from
Yeah.
2:30 to 3.
Yeah, yeah.
too, but-
And then just maybe disclose that to the vendors,
Yeah.
that during this time, we're gonna have, this going
It
on.
might give them a chance to take a break and stuff as well, yeah.
Because that green space belongs to, it's not the towns, it belongs to.
It's the KTP.
Yes,
Mhm.
thank you. And I know that they're trying to. I've had discussions, I think they're trying to like make sure the grass doesn't get all ruined and just, yeah. So,
Yeah, I would almost prefer to keep it at the bandstand where we already have music there and not pull away from.
Well,
That might
then
draw
maybe-
people in too.
then maybe then what we can do is just tell them. Tell the vendors from 2 to 3, this is what's going on,
Mhm.
and we won't serve after 3 o'clock or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, yeah, as long as we're honest and maybe. Just doing like hot dogs. And then we're not, and I think we need to see what we get for food vendors. I can reach out to a couple and,
I think that's
Because it
the
is-
big thing.
yeah, let's
is-
see what we
yeah.
get.
Yeah, I think that would be the big thing, to see how many we.
So I'll reach out to some food trucks. You have a thought, Jesse?
Yeah,
What's up?
just going to many different places. Now I'm like, okay, who's got the best mac and cheese and.
Oh, I like that.
I mean, like,
That's a good one.
It is, my
I
husband.
like
did
that
it.
you're still keeping it crock pottish.
My
Yeah.
husband would definitely.
There's 40 different types of people that would make different macs and cheese.
I like that a lot.
and there are people who do it right, so.
That would take
That's affordable too.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
You're thinking instead of the barbecue.
Right.
Yeah, that's less.
I would
Okay.
love to do a barbecue at some point. I think that's a great idea. I think it's a more high-end idea. And I don't think anybody's,
It's super
Done it.
creative, right?
but maybe that needs to be tagged along with some, but I mean, barbecue will,
For the 4th.
for the fourth, I mean, you
Right.
really can't beat that. Are we,
What about Memorial Day?
can we do?
Do we do anything for Memorial Day? That for me has barbecue all over it. Whereas for the 4th of July, I think of more hamburger.
I think Memorial Day, a lot of people are going up to camp.
Yeah,
Why a lot of people go up to camp?
Yeah.
What about the same night that the fireworks are being shot off then?
Mhm.
What about
Yeah, it's Monday.
barbecue there?
Is that Monday? night? We're doing that on the 3rd, on Monday?
Monday.
I will be
in
in town that.
and do it like down at the rec area.
I love it.
Yeah,
And I can offer to help cook and stuff. too.
Okay, we can do that. So let's shoot for that for July 3rd, so that way we have an activity going on before the fireworks.
what do you think?
I like that. Chief,
Yep,
What do you think about that one?
I think it's a great idea. The problem is. Don't put a lot of expectation into it because. We've tried that, we've never got any people. I think you do it and see what happens. It's just like the 4th of July, where it's a one-day event this year. How many people are gonna stay in town once the parade's over? This town turns into a ghost town after the parade.
We're talking about the night of the fireworks, chief.
Right, the night of the fireworks I mean, you could. What else are you gonna do down there?
What if you had music at the bandstand that night before
Good idea.
the fireworks and then?
It's behind the high school with that junior gym area is. Remember how they used to do, that's where the bands used to set up before.
Right,
We're thinking about barbecue and hot dogs and stuff down there.
yeah, I mean. And you might be able to get a local band, like a school age kids. That would play for like $100 or something down there that night, like we used to do. We used to set up a little stage out behind
So,
and had like a battle of the bands, had 3 or 4 high school bands.
and hold it like an hour and a half or so before, 2 hours before the fireworks, so like 7
Yeah.
o'clock, everybody's setting up,
Mhm.
get some hot dogs going. And, I think people will really love it, and you're gonna draw people down there, and word of mouth is gonna spread. I mean, it's not, he's right, 15, 20 years ago when we were doing that, there was no cell phones, there was no media, stuff like that, and get down there, there's some, and it would just create a buzz.
yeah. Cool. So we'll start planning that. I think that's a lot for us to digest for the 4th of July. Does anyone have any final thoughts before we move forward? I think this is a really awesome starting place for the 4th.
I will not be here.
Okay. Okay, that's okay.
Reiterating, I am doing Sandy and.
You are reaching out to the Girl Scouts, yes, and Sandy for the parade.
Okay.
And I think there's a huge social media presence right now too, so I think that's gonna help with the 4th of July too and activities. I think there's gonna be a lot more people.
Yeah,
If we had it going down there, too, for that, because have you been down there for 4th of July? Everybody probably has.
Yeah.
It can get pretty
crowded.
crowded, and it looks pretty good. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I'll bring that up in my,
You've never been down there?
No, I usually go to a friend's house.
It's not only that, you have everybody from the Eastern Medway also that comes up, and that's more of a, partnership, a regional partnership. I know we put the bill for everything, but it's, I mean,
Well, because I was gonna say, I could always reach out to the credit union Millinocket too, because they've been wanting to get like.
Oh, for the parade?
Yeah.
That's great, yeah.
Donations,
The-
donations with the third as well. I think places like we don't just have to lean on the town ones, the town stores that have hot dogs and hamburger. Bun. I think we can probably reach out to Lounsbury, or not Lounsbury, but Ellis's.
And write-outs potentially.
Maybe you can just put out if somebody wants to, you know, be a sponsor or something like that and donate.
What is that new business? What you said this again?
Like a nutrition.
Yeah. Is it Glad Nutrition?
It might be.
Yeah, she may be a good one.
You ought to reach out to her.
I don't know. I don't know if she has, but I'll hear good stuff about her. So.
I'll write that down.
Hmm,
Cool, anything else, guys?
not for that.
Awesome. Then let's move on down to number 4. The scholarship fund draft rules and regulations. For those of you who don't know, the scholarship fund is a scholarship that the events committee created in partnership with Bissell Brothers Brewing. Over marathon weekend, we raised $2,750 to go into the scholarship fund. And as a committee, I need to have a draft by our next meeting for approval. And I just want to confirm what we've previously discussed to make sure we're still on board. What amount do we want to give? Tom and I had discussed, we think it'd be appropriate to do 2 $500 scholarships this year, so that way we're not depleting our funds right away. What is the committee?
What is the?
We're about to get into that.
The Bissell Brothers Brewing, what is that?
Bissell Brothers, they
like
just
a
sponsored us. It's a
brew-
beer company. They brew beer. They're from Milo. They have a brewery in Portland. They donated $4 of every pint sold of their brew during marathon weekend to the events committee.
Okay, that's it. Now it's ringing a bell, so.
And they're going to continue. I spoke to Hester Bissell this week. They're going to continue to partner with us through Trails and Festival, and again, kick back to the events committee to go into our scholarship fund, and then again for the marathon. And for the marathon next year, they're creating a brew specific to Millinocket. And that's what they'll be selling at the marathon next year. And again, taking it back into the events committee. They're really excited about this partnership. And in the previous meetings, we had discussed, just to loop everyone in, doing the scholarship for a senior graduate who has served their community in some capacity. We're not gonna put any stipulations on if they're going to school. We would like to see them either going to school, starting a business, or going into the trades. Is the committee still on board with that?
Mhm.
So community focused.
Are you gonna be choosing, when you think of 2, are you thinking of like 1 male, 1 female?
We'll, as a committee, we will go through the applications, whatever we get, and we will just select 2 as a committee out of those.
Yeah, I don't think,
I don't think their gender
No.
matters.
especially now with non-gender and everybody, so.
Well, I mean, not everybody identifies into that, so I'm not trying to get into all that, but.
No, I know, but I don't think that we want to single them out with saying, because I'm this. I'm not gonna-"
So you want it more,
To be honest, that happens
Merit-based.
every day, that's real life, that's.
Yeah, I don't personally think that it needs to matter if it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
There's 2 senior graduates that serve their community.
yeah, by merit, I meant like who served the community. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that should be a, you know, a factor into it. I think it should be, you know, like you said, if you've helped out in the community and you know, had that initiative,
How much were you saying you were looking at?
$500 to $500 scholarships this year to be awarded. Okay, does anyone have any final thoughts about that? I will draft that up before the next meeting for the committee's review. Any final thoughts?
I mean, do you want them to have like, almost like teacher referrals in there too, not just like if they help out and like,
Yeah.
but like a teacher referral, like maybe they're.
I was just thinking that like, not, my word is references, but not like references, but yeah, somebody to be like,
You have to have some kind of criteria,
Yeah.
support criteria,
Testimonial.
Yeah, testimonials.
something like, yeah, reference.
letters of endorsement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
How many letters of endorsement do we want? 2?
Two,
Two, I think.
Yeah.
Three. Just so that way, you know, it's not just from one person, you know, but that maybe somebody that,
And no family, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be a teacher, but somebody that, you know, has noticed, I guess. Not always just a little bit.
Teachers, coaches, mentors.
mhm.
bosses. Cool. Any other criteria we can think of?
I would have probably spiritual leaders. for that.
Yeah,
Love that. Any other criteria, thoughts from everyone? Tom?
No, I'm good. Like I told you, I've been working on some ideas for how we would actually do it, but I think everybody just needs to put some ideas together and bring it back.
Okay, I'll have that drafted by the next meeting and we'll take it from there.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on to the 5th item before we loop back to number 1. We had a opportunity for a carnival to come to Millinocket. It essentially is cost free. However, upon further investigation between Tom and myself, they're not registered through the state yet, so until we see that, we're not comfortable moving forward with them.
Yeah.
Right, Tom, that's where we kind of left off. I'm still waiting to hear back from the town of Holton. I guess they go there every year for the 4th. So we are gonna get a reference from them, but currently the fire marshal does not have anything on record for them. So that's why it was on there, but
Okay.
we did some digging and that's kind of where we're at. So until we hear back that they're actually a registered business. we
What
won't
was like
move forward.
carnival?
There is no carnival.
I do, but what time of year were you, like, if it came back and everything like that?
We were thinking in the spring or the fall to bring like a fun activity where there's kind of a lull in the season.
I would say spring, because the fall we have.
Where would you hope?
But that would be, yeah. where we-
The only location that it would work out would be the rec complex, because they need to be able, and again, it's kind of a logistics nightmare, because this carnival itself, they need camping, water, electricity, clearance space. And they bring a couple food like carts,
Mhm.
tons of inflatables, and tons of games. So they don't have any rides either.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a smaller scale.
Let me ask you this, have you ever considered maybe like a more of an agricultural? Or some pony rides, maybe some sheep, I mean, Holton does it, some. It's more of an agricultural kind of fair.
There's, I know, I can't think of it now, but that's like farmers or, you know, you.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Right, it's kind of a big deal in some places, and I think,
I know Bangor does.
well,
When would,
and I really think the kids around here will like that kind of thing. It's,
I know that there's one localish farm that does pony rides. Up in Crystal.
what time of year would we envision an agricultural fair? Spring or
I
fall?
mean,
I would think fall time would be.
I would think fall too, I mean, but if we have a lull in the spring, I mean,
Well, this spring, we're working on the bike rodeo.
okay.
So I think for
Whatever you were
Agricultural
talking about the carnival.
I think October, we don't have any events other than trick or treating right now in October. I think that would be a really cool way to add an event in October.
The car.
That's at the beginning, yes. Yeah,
But I don't think, I mean, with people coming in and out of town for like leaf keepers and things like that, it might be
Mhm.
more of a draw to the community.
Yeah.
If there's
Yeah.
something going on.
yeah, there's nothing for like mid-October towards the end, same with November, but November is where we get a little chilly.
Right. But they have like little little petting pot,
Petting them.
petting zoos.
Yeah, I love that.
The guy up in Holton who has Thomas.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know if he travels with them, but like this. guy has- maybe it's on podcast, but, yeah.
Do you want one?
Maybe we can go and learn the difference.
We really need that.
No, I had somebody.
No one else does look like.
Nicole, do you think you could give me the contact information for the woman you mentioned who does the pony rides and maybe him as well? So we can call and start reaching out about that? Awesome, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Melissa?
I had somebody mention, in the winter. What about the dog sledding? They do them up north, they do them in Dover Foxcroft, and I have a contact who can get insurance, registration, and all of that information
Where would we have it?
at the, on the trails.
Let's
That was,
put that
that
in for
was
the agenda in
like,
like August.
yeah, that was like, think of
Yeah,
later on in the year, but I
That would be
wanted to
good
get it out
during
before I
Winterfest.
forgot.
that would be
Yeah.
very cool during Winterfest.
Yeah.
And
which is
where
what brought
the
it up.
events committee is most likely picking that up.
Mhm.
That would be a really good opportunity. Can you put that on your notes so we can follow that up in August? I'll put it on my calendar as well.
And maybe even reach out to, I know they have, I think they might have already had their dogs like race up north,
Not yet,
not yet, but
not yet.
it's coming out, so they might be a good contact, so.
Any other thoughts on the carnival opportunity?
Oh,
It was a bummer.
Not the carnival, but I do have one, when you're ready to, if you can, go back to the parade for a second, I do have a question.
You can just throw it out WhatsApp.
Anybody like puppies?
I think everybody likes puppies.
Have you ever thought about, I mean, in spirit of having a puppy park now and a doggy park and stuff like that. Has anybody ever thought about, and of course, this is up to this, I know when you envision this could go really wrong. But wouldn't it be cool if they had like 30, 40, 50 people walking their dog?
Back again.
What's that? What is it? My dog.
He wasn't talking to us.
Like a puppy walk, encouraging dog walkers to join us.
Parade.
That could be really cool.
I mean, that's a discretion at your, I mean, you know your dog's the best. I know my dog would have a great time walking with a bunch of other dogs, but your dog may not. I mean, it's, well, that's where you kind of really have to. But I think
You could always
people would
do a
love it.
liability when you show.
Yeah,
You know how many dogs are around when we do the parades and the big gatherings, there's people walking their dogs anyway.
mhm.
I'll
Get him
reach,
in, yeah, get him involved.
I'll reach out to there was a group of citizens that really pushed for the dog park. So I'll reach out to them as well, because if anyone's gonna get the word out,
They're gonna do it.
it's gonna be them. So I'll,
Provide their own bags.
yes.
Yeah.
That's a good way for them to kind of promote.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely.
And what kid doesn't like to go up and pet it up?
That's of course at the discretion
Of the owner.
Yes, yes.
'Cause we
Absolutely.
should be teaching our children not to go to strange dogs.
The only question I have about that is, what about the service dogs? How, like, they're all labeled, they all have their vests and stuff that say service dog, please do not pet. But would there be any confusion with all of these other ones that are walking in the parade? and everything?
Hopefully that's.
Yeah, I just know that many
Sure,
people with
kids,
service dogs are going to be in the parade because they're working dogs, and so they, they use them when they're actually working and they
Mhm.
have like off time as well, so maybe when they're in the
Figured I'd
parade.
put the question out before somebody else.
Yeah,
Put the question
um,
out.
And I think if you're walking in the parade, I don't know how many parents would, you know what I mean? It's like, would let their kids go, you know, cause it's a continuous, you know,
and just walking.
yeah.
Well, I
Chief
figured
Melton
I
has
would
hand up.
voice it before anybody else did.
Go ahead, Tom.
I've got to leave. I've got to go to Lincoln for a Region 3 board meeting.
Thank you, chief.
I've got to leave. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, I just try to think of everything before somebody else brings it up.
Any other thoughts? We missed out, so we're still gonna skip one. I'll have that on the agenda for next time.
Sorry for interrupting and jumping through, but it just came to me.
No, that's okay. I'd rather know and write it down so we can keep these thoughts going. This is all really good stuff.
With the carnival, I don't really see this carnival without rights.
Without what?
Rights. It would be more of a fair big thing, in which case.
Yeah, I mean, either way, we
Would
can't
it
use that
be
because they're not
like-
registered.
I think that's why we said
Yeah.
agricultural.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then planning
Okay.
that for October. But I had it on there because we thought it would work out, but then we found out they're not registered, so
And I know
I
that,
didn't want to send an updated agenda.
Is that too, if we do the agriculture, is that too late for
good for, and
farmers market or anything like
I
that?
think people could do, I think you said.
I mean, that would be for them to get and get them. Because it's at harvest time, so.
If they usually want you to get together anyways, to kind of get the word out there, and then, I mean, you could always do like a little farmer's market area.
That's what I was thinking, that wouldn't be
That
too
would, you
late?
could actually done that as well.
Yeah,
You could
Then
actually
that-
do that as well.
table,
Well, there's
Okay,
already a
sure,
farmer's
okay.
market, so I would want to invite them.
yeah,
Oh,
And once it's established, I know that the Age Friendly Committee has been working really hard on establishing the farmer's market, so I wouldn't want to take away from that at all. Instead, we could just invite them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it would, I'm sure a lot of the same vendors would be at least interested in seeing something like this.
Want to get the local, like, farmers in the area, even just more involved too.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of people have, a lot of farmers have, I don't wanna say waste product, but they have things that haven't sold, so maybe those.
I think, yeah, I think that as long as they get the, and if I'm wrong on this, I might be wrong, so no one take me like, but I think that as long as they get the vendor's license, even though technically it's food, because it's not prepared food, they don't have to get like food, the food vendor's license. Is that
No.
right?
No, as long, if they
I thought-
are just selling like jams, jellies, or like packaged things, they do not. It's only the food trucks, people who are making hot food
Hot
right
food,
there.
okay, that's.
Yes,
Yeah, so, yeah, there might be some, and I think, and so that qualifies like if someone has squash or something, is that right? Yes.
correct, yeah, that is, the only time they would have to purchase that through the town is when they're making hot food.
Okay.
Cool. Any other thoughts, questions, comments, ideas? Melissa, you're smiling, are you sure?
A lot to digest, we put a lot of information.
We did. Would it be helpful to anyone if I type up these notes and then send them to everyone? Would that be helpful if I start doing that? A recap? Okay, I can do that.
Especially when I have to miss
Yeah,
a meeting, yes.
so moving forward, I can start
Can
typing
you
up a,
go in the docs when
when I print
when
it.
you do that?
Absolutely, I'm happy
Appreciate
to. Okay, well, thank you everyone for coming. If there's nothing else, we are set to meet again February 27th. That's a Monday at 4 p.m. And just so everyone has a heads up, we're looking at adding to that agenda the movies for March, April, May. Bike rodeo, continuing talking about the music series, the scheduled costs, what we're looking at. And really starting to narrow down our 4th of July stuff. I will get that agenda out to you guys sometime this week, because next week I will be on vacation. Cool.
Enjoy your vacation.
It's a staycation with Move Away. It'll be great.
I will not be at the next meeting.
So I do have, Cassie, she's the first one up in